is a presentation of HBO Sports.
Move over, Tito Trinidad. There's a new superstar in Puerto Rico.
Lots of the crowd standing as Cotto continues the vicious assault. He doesn't run anymore, or so it appears, and Arthur McKenny stops the fight.
Big left hand by Cotto.
Still undefeated, Miguel Cotto.
It's like hitting a brick wall that continues to close in.
Margarito getting the better of him here.
Cotto's hurt. Cotto's hurt.
Miguel Cotto getting beaten up by a bigger man.
It's over.
He's exhausted, and it's almost over. And Cotto goes to a knee. And Evangelista Cotto's going to throw in the towel. An epic fight with an epic conclusion. Miguel Cotto has made every effort in the build-up to this fight to keep saying this isn't about all that other stuff. It's just about we're going to fight. Cotto going to the body. Down goes Martin. The biggest night of Miguel Cotto's career.
You said that you wanted to retire at the end of this year.
What do you think?
If you're up for it, I think we'd all like to see you again.
One more in December, and that will be all.
Hello, I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to Miguel Cotto, a retrospective. In our more than 4 decades of boxing coverage here at HBO, it's been our privilege to cover hundreds of fighters, but only a generous handful of them from the very beginning of their professional careers until the moment of their ultimate departure from the sport, their retirement. With Miguel Cotto having announced that his December 2 fight will be his last, he joins the ranks of fighters whose accomplishments in boxing have been special for fans, special for the sport itself, and special for all of us who've worked with him at the network where he's made his home. Soon I'll be joined here on the set by Miguel, but as we embark now on a journey through his entire professional career, we take you back to his entry into professional boxing after the Sydney Olympics in 2000, beginning in 2001, a career that began with all the fanfare you would expect for a decorated Puerto Rican amateur moving forward toward his professional destiny.
Now let's get ready to watch the hottest young prospect in boxing, Miguel Cotto. We're on an island here in Puerto Rico which has produced so many great names in boxing, among them Wilfredo Gomez, Tito Trinidad, 2 true immortals. Is Cotto headed toward being on that list?
That's the idea, that's the hope, but it is a very high standard to meet.
Boxing is one of the most sought-after sports for the people of Puerto Rico. They have a special interest and a passion for it. I've heard for the first time of Miguel Cotto back when he was an amateur boxing and he represented Puerto Rico in the Olympics. There were a lot of expectations with him. In the early 2000s, Felix Tito Trinidad still dominated the scene. Trinidad was a people's person. Trinidad would be joking around, shaking hands, taking pictures, and Miguel is a more serious person, more professional. He just, I'm here to do my job. At first, they didn't respect that of Miguel. They thought that he had to be like Trinidad. But in time, they came to respect how Miguel is, his personality, and understood. Miguel preferred more to speak with actions than words.
That's a knockdown. Cotto stretches his record to 15-0.
Signature punch was that left hook to the body. That was bread and butter for Miguel.
Another vicious body shot. They say don't fall in love with a fighter. How could you not fall in love with Miguel Cotto's skills? Tito Trinidad. There's a new superstar in Puerto Rico.
While Cotto's exploits in the ring established his popularity in Puerto Rico, his ascent to global stardom emerged in large part from his showdowns at Madison Square Garden.
His hometown is Caguas, Puerto Rico, but his home court as a boxer is New York City. This is obviously a Miguel Cotto crowd.
In 2005, he began an almost annual tradition of fighting on the eve of the Puerto Rican Day Parade, much to the delight of impassioned New York audiences.
Other Puerto Rican fighters fought in New York, Trinidad and Gomez. But Miguel took it to another level, and people just wanted to be part of that tradition.
In 2007, Madison Square Garden played host to the most significant challenge of Cotto's career to that point, when he squared off against Shane Mosley for a welterweight title.
Cotto has energy. What a vicious struggle. Glory in the garden. Miguel Cotto remains unbeaten.
Now we welcome Miguel Cotto to this set, which has been designed, Miguel, to commemorate some of the best and worst moments of your boxing career. No great boxing career goes without having both. Let's go back to the very beginning. How did you get started boxing?
I was a lot overweight when I was 11. And my brothers, they were boxers at the time. I decided to start in boxing just to lose weight.
Did you realize at the time how deeply involving an obsession this could become?
I made boxing my life, and here we are.
Early in your professional career, you suffered an accident for which I believe you still have a titanium rod in your shoulder. What happened, and what was its effect on your career at that time?
I was driving from my house to the track for my morning workout. I fall asleep at the wheel, and my car impacted the division wall, and I broke my right humerus in 3 parts. The doctors told me that I had to take a year and a half to return to boxing, but 6-7 months, I returned to boxing again.
In the early portion of your career, you were constantly being compared to Tito. Do you think it took Puerto Rican fans a little while to accept and adjust to the fact that you didn't have Tito's bubbly, outgoing, vibrant personality?
People, sometimes they didn't understand, but I am who I am, and I'm not going to change. You know, I'm just going to be Miguel every time.
You had several fights before you first appeared in Madison Square Garden. Ultimately, that became, as we mentioned, a kind of a ritual for you to come back to New York City at least once a year. Were you surprised at the emotional lift that you got from fighting in that arena?
If you talk about boxing at the Garden, at some point you have to add Miguel Cotto to the conversation. I think that Madison Square Garden make Miguel Cotto the boxer he is right now.
So it's poetic, given what the Garden meant to you, that you were back there December 3, 2011, for what most of the world saw as a deeply important revenge fight for you against Antonio Margarito. Was it extra meaningful that that took place before your crowd at the Garden?
All I want for this fight, for this opportunity, was showing to the people that what happened, what really happened on our first fight. They didn't get found a better place to make this fight.
So who was Miguel Cotto heading into the Margarito fight? He was ascending the pound-for-pound ranking. One of the reasons people wanted to see the fight so much is it was the 2 best 147-pounders in the world. And you knew, given their styles, it had to be a great action fight.
Cotto is a much better boxer, much faster, much more crispier puncher.
Because Cotto was this proud, undefeated champion. And he started the fight just outclassing Margarito. But around the 5th or 6th round, suddenly every time Margarito touched Cotto, it was leaving a mark. And it was spooky.
I mean, we know Cotto's heavy-handed, and we see him landing these titanic shots, and they don't seem to faze Margarito at all.
The hair-raising part, I think, really, was that Cotto eventually knelt.
Margarito short shots on the inside.
And Cotto goes to a knee.
Like he had had enough. He acquiesced. And Cotto was such a proud champion, especially an undefeated champion.
The punishment has accumulated to the point where Cotto has nothing left.
It's over.
And Evangelista Cotto's going to throw in the towel.
You don't expect him to go out like that. You'd expect him to go out on his shield. Like, you have to separate him from his senses. But Cotto's spirit was broken by Margarito. And that was, in a way, hard to watch, but in a way, you couldn't look away. Cotto was not the same fighter after the Margarito loss. A lot of what made Cotto such an excellent fighter was his pride and his determination. That was stripped from him.
Manny landed a little right hook in there and follows up by knocking Cotto down. Victory for Pacquiao. Second loss of Cotto's career.
It was career-altering for Cotto. And of course, after the fact, when you found out that Margarito had hand wraps that were dipped in something, suddenly the Cotto fight made so much sense.
It's probably the enormous perception that Cotto was illegally violated in Las Vegas 3 years ago, and they want a form of blood revenge tonight.
The rematch was about Margarito getting his comeuppance. The cheaters never win, right? Like, he's gonna really get punished. And in boxing, you're not gonna get punished by getting struck out or dunked on. You're gonna get physically punished.
Hard right hand by Cotto.
He's doing a serious operation on Margarito's face right now.
Another good combination by Cotto. He's fighting a far different fight now than he was fighting in round 9 of the first fight.
Cotto's fighting as though he doesn't have the same fear of Margarito's punches in their first fight.
It's over. It's over, and revenge is sweet.
I'm sure the win was very gratifying for Cotto because, again, he got revenge. You know, he avenged not only the loss, but an injustice. Whatever this says about the human condition, there's something very satisfying about that, I think.
Just to make clear, the world knows that in his next ring appearance after he fought you, Margarito attempted to enter the ring with illegal hand wraps against Shane Mosley in Los Angeles, was prevented from doing so by Shane's trainer, Nassim Richardson, and when he came into the ring, he was a paper tiger. Mosley backed him up from the opening bell and ultimately knocked him out. Based on all that, do you believe that Antonio Margarito used illegal hand wraps against you?
100%.
So you knew that your career had probably been compromised by an illegal act when you were going on to fight Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, the two best fighters in the sport at that time.
Probably, but you know, I'm here just to do my best every day, and I never stop doing that.
This was so personal and such a crime against you that we assume there was an enormous feeling of revenge and catharsis when you knocked him out in New York in 2011.
It was just satisfying, the most satisfying moment in my career.
You were able to be so calm and unaffected by this particular injustice, what happened against Margarito. You have a very close family. They're always at ringside. They're a big part of your career. How did Melissa and the children feel about it?
I never talked to them about boxing. I have a rule with myself that boxing is my work. I never sit with them and talk about the fight, you know, but I know that they enjoy the second one.
I know of no fighter whose family has been more demonstratively supportive and more constant at ringside than yours. We asked them to talk to us about what you've meant to them.
My father has been a fighter all my life. He's been fighting for 16 years, and I'm 16 years old. I remember going to the track, like waking up in the morning and going running. The thing that most reminds me of it is the birds in the morning and the breeze. When we went there, it was cold, and the birds were like chirping. He's practically my idol, and I want to follow him.
As a child, I used to want to be a boxer too, like my father. And I have pictures of me dressed up as a boxer, or in the gym, like trying out the gloves and all that stuff.
I just remember him training a lot. And we went to visit him. He always tried to make it fun for us because we didn't see him for so long. People don't understand because, oh, that's easy money and traveling and all nice things, but they don't know the sacrifices, the hard stuff behind all of it.
El sacrificio más grande, bueno, él se tiene que separar, ¿verdad?, de la familia. Él se ha perdido graduaciones, cumpleaños, en muchos casos, lejos de la familia.
And I know it's harder for him than it is for us, but the sacrifices are necessary because it's his job, it's the thing that he loves.
I don't like going to the fights. For me, I wish my dad was invincible. I don't want to watch him like hurt himself, but I love my dad and I want to support him and I want to be there always.
We're part of it. He's doing it because he loves it, but he's doing it for us, for his family. So we want to be there to support him.
When the fight starts, we always want to end like really, really fast. It's a great moment when he wins. It's a proud moment, but it's a bittersweet moment because we don't want the fights to keep going.
Siempre el boxeo me ha asustado. De verdad que añoraba, ¿verdad?, que llega ese día de su retiro. Ya ha logrado tanto en el boxeo y realmente pues no tiene que demostrar más nada en el boxeo.
The thing that he has taught me to believe in what I do, to do what I love, and do it no matter what.
He has taught me to be strong, to always be humble.
I'm proud that my dad does everything that he does for us and builds a legacy. It doesn't matter to me that he's very famous. All that matters to me is that he's here and well with us.
These tears, these are tears which reflect the depth of what you feel watching them say what they've said about you, right?
I came from the best couple in the world. My mom and my dad. They showed me the way I have to be for my kids. The things I have to be willing to do for them. I've been a boxer for 20-something years of my life. I don't going to have any other birthday away from them, any other special date away from them, because all I want to do is be for them. And it's my turn to show them what you have to do for your family.
This decision that you're making to retire from boxing, have you, in your private, quiet moments, discussed that in your conscience with your father?
He passed away in January 3rd, 2010. He's here. He's always on my side. He's always letting me know what I have to do. He's always on my mind. The best thing that I ever had in life was him.
And I think you can rest assured that your father remains very proud of you in perpetuity. I have an emotional sense that in these last few years of your career, your family expanded by one because of the close relationship you've shown with Freddie Roach. Isn't this the closest relationship you've had with a trainer, and what does Freddie mean to you?
I never experienced a relationship between myself and a trainer as the one I have with Freddie today.
One, two. One, two, over hand. How I linked up with Miguel was all of a sudden I get a phone call. And he said, Freddie, I got about 3 fights left in me. Can you help me? And is this really you? Yeah. 1, 2. I'd love to help you, and it's been a great run for us for his last 4 or 5 fights. Fight. The chemistry was good between me and Miguel. We get along well. He works hard. I like people who work hard. A lot of people didn't expect to see us click together like that right away, and we did. Miguel, he was always a good fighter and a very solid guy, good puncher, great left hook to the body. When we got together, and the first thing I brought back was the left hook, of course, because that's to me, his best weapon.
So it's finally time for our main event. Miguel Cotto against Sergio Martinez.
I thought Martinez was a great fight for us.
Cotto's off to a blazing start.
Martinez badly hurt Jim with a left hook.
Down goes Martinez.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden, putting him down early like that, again, I didn't expect it, but Miguel was really, really taken to heart. His left hook was back.
The biggest night of Miguel Cotto's career.
Freddie Roach and Miguel Cotto have been together for 6 fights in all. And even though they're preparing for Cotto's final bout with Saddam Ali, the bond between fighter and trainer will endure.
You know, this is a big fight for us because it's the last time we're going to see him on the big screen TV. Disappointed in some ways, yes, because I'll miss him. We'll remain friends forever. Miguel's been one of the best guys in the world to work with. He's been in the game so long, and he wants to spend more time with his family and be a better father and just be closer with them. I'm really happy because I'm glad that he's deciding when to say it's over. Not some commissioner, not some doctor. He's going out the way he wants to go out, and I love that. He's a great fighter, and he's like this nice guy deep down inside, and he's just a really good, caring person. And people say, I never saw him smile in my life. And you have all these pictures of you and him together, and you guys are smiling the whole time. And I says, I'm glad I could bring that out of him.
Now we're joined on the set by the most decorated trainer in boxing, 7-time Trainer of the Year, Freddie Roach. Freddie, you had trained against Miguel Cotto. You took Manny Pacquiao through his victory against him. What were your impressions of Miguel after that fight?
He was a very good fighter, and I think that he made a few mistakes with Pacquiao. He went to the ropes a little bit too much in that fight, and he didn't use his left hook quite as much. What I needed to do, I knew. I said, we got to keep him off the ropes, and we've got to get that left hook back. And we started working on that right away.
Miguel, you had been trained by a member of your family, you had been trained by a friend, you had been trained by the very great Emmanuel Stewart. What prompted you to choose to call Freddie up?
That was after 2 defeats in a row, Mayweather and Trout. We were asking ourselves if I had something left on me in boxing, and we decided to call Freddie. He's my savior. You know, he was the one who put Miguel on track again. I'm sure enough that it was the best decision I ever made in my career.
As a person who has chosen to retire after this next fight, you are foregoing the possibility of a rematch against Canelo Alvarez. Are you disappointed, Freddie, that you will not be having a rematch against Canelo?
In a lot of ways, yes, because I thought we won the first fight. His defense was great in that fight, and I thought we outpointed him.
Miguel, is it challenging for you to leave the sport without going back and settling that issue against Canelo?
I have better things to do after December 2nd.
Freddie, the opportunity to be Miguel Cotto's last professional opponent was offered to several big-name fighters, and several turned it down. So you wind up with a matchup against Saddam Ali. What do you think of Saddam Ali?
I think it's definitely a challenge there. He's the new generation coming up, and I don't like to mix generations too much like that, you know, because he's a lot younger and has a lot more fire, and we're going to have to be at our best to beat him, I feel.
People knows what Freddie and Miguel is capable of, and we are being taking Saddam Ali in a serious way, you know? We are being doing our things the best way possible, and we are going to fight on December 2nd the best way possible too.
Thanks, guys, for all these insights. Great professional prize fighters make a deep bond with their audience because they take risks to please them, because they work extremely hard to be the best they can be, because they match themselves against other men who might lose to them, but who very well might beat them as well. But among the greatest of those fighters, there's a deeper impression that's made because through all of their work inside and outside of the ring, they are able to project their fundamental humanity. And there's no better example of that in our sport than Miguel Cotto. So, with an eye toward what it's going to be like to miss him when he's gone, let's take a look at some of the moments that have made his career so memorable.
You're going to see Miguel Cotto try to continue polishing his image as the best young fighter in the sport. That was just a perfectly thrown combination. Said it many times, Miguel Cotto doesn't just beat you, he beats you up. Cotto always fights back.
He doesn't want any more, and Arthur McCanny stops the fight. Celebration time for Miguel Cotto.
Cotto showing you his enormous courage. Cotto has nothing left.
Does Miguel Cotto still really want to fight?
This is a tremendous physical effort. He's making Puerto Rico proud.
Mexico, Puerto Rico, the two best 154-pound fighters in the world.
Cotto comes back with the left hook to the body. That was the punch that once defined Miguel Cotto's career.
Cotto was beating the hell out of him.
It's over, and revenge is sweet. A sensational performance by Miguel Cotto. Down goes Martinez. The biggest night of Miguel Cotto's career.
Next Saturday, don't miss what Miguel Cotto says is his last fight. He squares off against Saddam Ali, live on HBO.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.